Hello guys and welcome. So in this video I wanted to answer the question, what is Anno 1800? This video is aimed at people who know nothing about Anno 1800, have always been curious, maybe you've heard of it and so on, and you just want to find some quick answers. And I will go over the basics of the game as well while I'm at it. Now this game was developed by Blue Byte and published by Ubisoft. And it released on the 16th of April 2019. It's available on Windows. Pretty much any game, most games which are released by Ubisoft, you can get it on Uplay. And you can choose to get the game separately, buy it separately, or you can get the Uplay Plus subscription service and then have access to the entire Uplay library. Now, this game is the 7th in the series. They released other ones, and like two of the previous games, Anno 2070 and Anno 2205, this game is based around the Industrial Revolution. Now, what sets this game apart from other city builder games like City Skyline and games like that on SimCity is that there is actually a purpose to what you're doing. So there is a really good storyline. So as we can see here, this is my kingdom. Obviously this is late game. This is what your kingdom might eventually look like as you're building it out and so on, and upgrading buildings and laying out trees and stuff like that. And what you also have in the game, you have all these competing, let's say, islands run by other people. So I can go on the minimap and I can scour around. I can just keep an eye on what they're doing and so on. And there is also naval warfare in the game as well, which is why I built defenses. You see these artillery and so on. Now, what's really great about this game, you can really get enthralled because you can see the individual citizens walking around living their lives. When, for example, these deliveries happen, you see it actually, something actually happening. Like if they're delivering things from one place to the other, it's because it's needed. Now, as you just saw by coincidence, something that pops up, you have a editor who basically says what is going on in the city, that am I doing a good job or other things happening and so on. You can choose to edit it, you can pretend to make everything seem amazing, but generally I've always just gone with the flow.
Compromising journalism.
Because I think people in the game especially admire honesty. So now you have at the bottom very much different styles of things you can build. So you start on the farmer level, so you build farmhouses, marketplaces, you can make clothes, and you need the basic coverage as well. So for example, things can catch on fire, so you need fire engines. Eventually you'll need police. And you need to entertain and provide entertainment for your citizens. So build them a pub and stuff like that. And they need education, so you need to build them schools. As your city becomes more advanced and huger and bigger, then you can provide other forms of entertainment, such as a zoo or many other things. Maybe you'll build a church. You know, there's so many different things. And also as well, as your needs of the citizens become more advanced as well, so will the materials they require. So you can see here, I've got this entire industrial area, but I've kept it away from where the citizens live. You see mines as well, because simply the amount of pollution it produces. So I don't want to pollute where people live. So now, essentially, with a game like this, it is so mesmerizing that you will lose hours and hours to the game. So what can actually happen is, and what does happen, thank God the developer put it in, is that every now and then the game will remind you if you've been focused on the game too long. It will say, like, you've been playing for 2 hours, have you thought about taking a break? Go stretch your legs, get a cup of coffee, things like that, because it is so easy to lose time. Now, individual citizens of the game have got certain needs. So they need bread, they need food, they need access to a marketplace, fish, and so on. And their happiness is affected by what you are providing for them. So, and also as well, like if they are very happy, you can see the bars fill up, you know, and all these things affect their happiness. If they're not happy citizens, then eventually they're going to riot, they're going to leave the town, and so on. So you really should focus on making your citizens as happy as possible. And what can also happen as well, you can be invaded by people on other islands, so it's important to keep your defenses up as well and think about it. But with friendlies, you can set up trade routes, so that's what your ships are for. So let me quickly... Okay, so we have a special visitor. So, guide. Yep. Why not? So, these random events happen, which can sometimes be a distraction, but it's otherwise really good. So, as you can see here, I've got a lumberjack, which means they need access to lots of wood, and so on. So, there are lots of guides you can probably find on YouTube, which do explain the best way to lay out your town, where to put the market, for example, when you start, and so on. There are also challenges in the game. So the challenges would be start the game again, but with limited resources. Can you still survive? You know, like with the odds stacked against you. And as time goes on as well, with all the DLC they've added as well, you'll be able to explore other continents, and you'll be able to sail there. And they'll have different styles of food, different styles of buildings, and so on. So one of the other areas you can go to initially is like, it's almost like a tropical area. So you'll be focused on getting things like bananas, you know, rather than what you might get locally. But you can then set up trade routes between the different islands. One thing you'll find as well, there's certain vegetation and materials that are only available on certain islands, which means that it's worth trying to colonize other islands to meet the needs of your city as it grows. Because you'll see, as the town becomes more advanced, you have different levels. You have the farmers, you have the workers, you have the artisans, and you have the engineers. They have different needs and different wants, so you need to make sure that oh, you see, so I'm friendly with people, so the friendly person gave me a gift. Why not? So yeah, so as I say, guys, Anno 1800, great game, beautiful. Like, you can be absolutely enthralled by this. It starts out so basic, like you literally just can build like a farmhouse and, you know, a marketplace with sand roads, but it's wonderful to see the town develop. Eventually you can replace the sand roads with stone roads and so on. Now, you need to be wary that when you have these sort of factories and buildings, they can literally explode and catch on fire. And because most of this area is made out of wood, the fires can spread very quickly. So for your own sake, make sure you have fire departments dotted around and easily accessible to everywhere, because a fire can take hold and like wipe out a city in a matter of minutes in this game. So beware of that. And also as well, if there's troublemakers, people who are eventually trying to incite riots and so on, if you don't have a police force, then again it will only spread and get worse and worse and worse. Disease is a problem that can happen in this game, so you need to make sure you have hospitals. And then some other needs as well. People might have religious needs, so you can build a church, for example, to satisfy the religious needs. Education, you can build a school. So it does have all the typical elements of a city building game, but it is with a purpose, which is great. You are, as the leader, you are motivated to do the right thing, essentially. And they will celebrate your giving them everything they want. If you really spend the time with each one to make sure that you are satisfying all their needs all the time, then eventually they will do festivals in your honor, which is really wonderful to witness. I really love watching the festivals, because they will march down the streets. You'll see them march down the streets, they will play music in your honor and so on. It's basically just to emphasize that you are doing a good job. And if you're not doing a good job, like, you'll see disease running rampant, riots running rampant, the city collapsing. So you do need to pay attention to that. Like I said, when this game first came out, I was absolutely enthralled. I could not stop playing it. And you also have the quest book, so you can see here what I need to focus on. So I need to raise some engineers' happiness and attract engineers, as things like that. So that's a work in progress. But you will always need farmers. You will always need each of the types of buildings, because essentially, who's going to run the farms if you upgrade all the farmers to workers, for example? You do need a balance of each. So yeah, anyway, guys, I could talk about this game all day. I absolutely love it. Highly recommend it. If you watch this far in the video, thank you very much. You will not regret playing this game. It is so good. It is so relaxing. You can hear the music is nice and chill and so on. So Blue Byte, Ubisoft, great job on this game. Thank you for sponsoring it to me. This is not a sponsored video. I made this video as well just because, just to reflect how wonderful this game was. I want it like permanently etched. Like, I really recommend this game. It is so good. If you are into city builders, check out Anno 1800. Wonderful game. Okay, I'll give it 7 Mithrie thumbs up, which is stupid. Anyway, so yeah, so anyway, guys, that's it for this video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. You can watch a random video over there, you can watch the latest upload down there, or you can click down here to subscribe. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.